Hello and welcome to Beyond the Boundary. You're watching TOI Sports, and today we're going to build up a little bit towards the second T20 and also discuss what has happened off late in the Ranji latest round. क्योंकि वहाँ पे बहुत सारे superstars हमारे खेल रहे हैं. So let's get started. We have Nitin Nayak, Chandresh Narayan, and Dwapayan Datta as our panelists today, along with me, Chetan Narula. Welcome, gentlemen. And the topic,
Thank you.
main topic है आज का. Mohammed Shami, we have to discuss about that. We also have to look back at what kind of a bowling lineup India fielded in Kolkata and what could be the potential changes for tomorrow, if any. Uh, लेकिन सबसे पहले ये मोहम्मद शमी वाला जो सवाल है ये काफी बड़ा सवाल है क्योंकि आप जब एक पेसर को इतने समय के बाद there was so much discussion, so much build up with his injury and then the knee issue, the swelling there, how many Ranji rounds he played, how many Ranji rounds he didn't play, बॉर्डर गावस्कर ट्रॉफी में जाना है नहीं जाना है and then he's playing white ball cricket. Now you brought him back, you haven't played him, and the big talking point for me is you brought him back T20Is में because you want him to build that rhythm towards the Champions Trophy. But then again, you did not play him in Kolkata. So let's have a starting thought on that, Nitin. Your opening thoughts on this subject. Does Mohammad Shami fit in this current T20 squad, or has this been an exercise in vain?
He does not fit into the T20 squad, although he's had an excellent IPL performances the last couple of years. Obviously, last year he did not play, but the 2 years prior he had very good performances. He used to almost
Hmm.
strike in the first over in every alternate game, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
Um, and his power play numbers were very good. So, but I think in this team they look at him more as a one-day bowler and a test bowler. Um, I think knowing how conditions are in Chennai, I don't think they would need him in Chennai. I think they will go with the same combination unless the wicket is completely different. But I think in Chennai, I don't think you will need Shami. I think they've kept him in the team so that they can actually monitor his rehab and build him towards the Champions Trophy.
Okay, Chandresh, your thoughts?
I think it's pretty much what Nitin said, but also I think that they want him in the setup, keep him in the mix. They'll probably see him through the course of the series and probably play him in the last two T20 internationals. So he has a bunch of 5 games leading into the Champions Trophy. I think they're still a bit wary about how his knee is holding up, how his ankle is holding up. So basically, they want to be very careful because we still don't know what's the status with Jasprit Bumrah, though he's been picked for the Champions Trophy and for the England ODI series. So I think they just need to be, they want to be very careful with the way they handle Mohammad Shami over here.
Okay. दोपायन, your thoughts on this as well. लेकिन यहाँ पर जैसे नितिन ने कहा और चंद्रेश ने भी कहा कि you are looking at you're looking at having him with the squad. Is it also because कि आप उनकी fitness पे काम कर सको, the support staff can take a closer look at him? Do we actually need that, or could he have probably benefited with more game time in the Ranji Trophy, where he could have bowled a longer spell, or now it's all about concentrating with the shorter spells in white ball cricket? What is in terms of just the building up the fitness to the required level? What could be the thought process here?
No, I think it's a good idea to have him with the squad, keep him ready for white ball cricket. But because now the focus is white ball cricket for the next 3-4 months, till before the England series. So that is the focus, and he is an integral part of the white ball system, white ball setup as of now. So it is a good idea to keep him, monitor his fitness. It's in fact I feel it's good that they are not playing him bang in these T20s. It is not necessary to play him in these T20s. And I also think that he may not always feature in the T20 11, but he still, if he is fit, he can be there in the T20 squad going forward if he is playing white
Yeah.
ball cricket. Because if Bumrah, Arshdeep, and Hardik Pandya are your three frontline pacers, then the fourth pacer can be Shami, who can be used uh, on and off. So it's a good idea to keep him with the team, keep him ready. Today he bowled a bit in the practice. Still now it's still going
Hmm.
on. 1 hour,
Hmm.
it's been 1 hour. He has bowled a bit in the practice session, hasn't bowled full throttle. Maybe he may not play tomorrow. That chance is there. They may stick with the same combination. There is a possibility. Let's see.
Are you at Chepak?
No, I'm not at Chepak.
Okay.
Eh,
You mentioned कि he hasn't bowled at full throttle today, which has been the case. जब मैं भी वडोदरा में उनको देख रहा था विजय हजारे में in the pre-quarters where he played, that Shami that we know, जो वो rhythm build होती थी, who's just running in express. He's still getting that movement. चाहे वो old ball के साथ हो, he's still very clever. Sorry, with the new ball के साथ हो, जो movement हो, with the old ball, he's still very clever and all of that. He's still picking up wickets. It's all there. But जो prime Shami का जो आपका जो form था in terms of the way he would just run in, he's looking absolutely fit and in rhythm, वो देखने को नहीं मिल रहा है. Just like you said, even in the practice he's not been running at full tilt. And for me, getting him that game time is going to be paramount in terms of preparing him for the Champions Trophy. Nitin?
Yes, getting him competitive game time. I mean, bowling under pressure, bowling when the batters are going after him. How does he respond? Whether he bowls his, whether he can land his Yorkers when the pressure is on. But I feel that they they are looking to kind of bed him in. They don't want to uh, play him in conditions where they know that they may not need him much. Maybe in Mumbai, where there is a lot of bounce and some help for the seam bowlers, they may, or maybe even in Pune, they may
Hmm.
play him on western red soil pitches. But I feel that over here in Chennai, on a spin friendly surface, I don't think they will take that risk. I do not know what the ICC rules state, but I do not know what the rules are. If you pick a player already who is on an injury list, and if he breaks down in the Champions Trophy, are you allowed a replacement? So I don't know whether the BCCI. I do not know the rules. Maybe Chandresh and you and DD can help me out on that. But maybe the BCCI is wary about that as well. That they do not want him to get injured because he's already been named. They have named a player who is on an injury list. So I do not know how the replacements work over there.
No, I don't
Just
think he's
to
injury.
just
Yeah.
to yeah, just to having worked at the ICC, I can tell you that till 12th of February, India can make changes, as many changes as possible to their squad. 12th is the final day when the final squad has to be revealed by the ICC, and after that, it's up to the technical committee of the tournament to approve replacements, which is normally approved if there is an injury. It doesn't matter whether injury was happened before or after, so it should be approved if at all he was to break down after 12th February.
Hmm.
Okay.
Also, the fact that he's not really carrying an injury. We are saying that he's on an injury watch list. Yes, maybe not on an injury watch list, Nathan. Maybe he's on a fitness watch list in terms of his,
Fitness.
Yeah.
how his knees are holding up, how his rhythm is building up. I think that's more the concern than anything else. But yeah, as Chandresh said, ki there has to be a final date of the squad submission, and usually those squad changes are approved, especially with the injury issue. But again, like I said, it's about building up. Let's take a look at the lineup that India had in that first T20. Dopayan, want to get your thoughts. It's obviously going to be a sprint-friendly wicket. Uh, Dew ki kya Dew? How much dew are we going to expect? Are we thinking the same amount of dew that was in Kolkata? I'm not sure at this time of the year in Chennai. That much dew? Perhaps not. You're muted, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. Later in the evening, dew does come in. Like it becomes a factor, and in Chennai, normally, unless the pitch is like it's crumbling, the idea is to bat second. That has always been the go-to formula in T20 cricket in Chennai. So
Hmm.
yes, there will be a bit of dew. There will be a bit of dew, and India will will look to bowl first, I'm guessing, because they are so fixated about the results of this series and not the bigger picture where they may have to bowl in the due during World Cups, because they have 30 games. Of course, people have been telling me that they have 30 T20 games, so there is enough and more time to experiment where even you can try your spinners in the due and all that. So yeah, so that's the thing. There will be a bit of due, but I still think
Not
India
the
will.
level that we saw, yeah.
Huh? Sorry.
Not the Kolkata level. Not the Kolkata
No,
level. Kolkata,
not the Kolkata level, because Eastern India is something different. Like in the winter is
yeah,
also
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
stronger winter there. So here
Yeah.
it's slightly mild, but yeah, there
Okay.
will be a bit of dew.
Okay. So taking a look again at that lineup, my personal opinion was regarding that lineup was कि India buffered their batting lineup in the sense कि अगर toss उनके against जाता, and because we've seen a history of tall scores at Kolkata, 220, 240. I think 261 was chased in the IPL last year. So we've seen that in Kolkata. And there was this potential possibility that England का जो batting lineup है scores around 220 240, तो फिर आप उसको chase करोगे with your batting going down till number 8. Chandresh, do you see a similar kind of a strategy, or we are looking at maybe getting in a second pacer as well? क्योंकि for me, I don't think Hardik and Nitish Reddy, they got away with it in the first T20, but Hardik and Nitish Reddy together as the second pacer or the third pacer even, I'm not sure that strategy works at this point in time.
I think, like you said, 260 was chased down in Kolkata last year, so probably that's the reason why they wanted to have a
Mm.
longer batting lineup in that first T20 international. You might see Harshit Rana coming in if we are not too confident about Mohammed Shami. In any case, I think the spinners have done their job. And looking at what Harry Brooks said today before the second T20, he said that they couldn't pick the Indian spinners because of the smog in Kolkata. So I hope, Dwaipan, the weather is better in England, in Chennai, for England to pick the spinners. But I think that there's a real case for someone like a Harshit Rana to walk in over here in place of either a Rinku or a Nitish Kumar Reddy, whatever the captain deems fit. Because if he wants an extra bowling all-round kind of an option, then there's always Nitish Kumar Reddy. You can leave out a Rinku Singh, because the others have all been in some kind of form except the captain himself.
Because of smog, he said.
Yes, he said that English spinners, England couldn't pick the Indian spinners because of smog in Kolkata.
If there was so much smog, तो pitch पे तो फिर broadcast भी possible नहीं होना चाहिए था ना. That's I mean, I've heard many.
It sounded a bit like '93 when they lost a test
Yes,
match in Kolkata,
yeah.
and they blamed smog of Kolkata. So nothing has changed in 32 years.
No,
Nitin,
England actually Harry Brook couldn't pick the Pakistan spinners.
Yeah,
Noman and that guy, the
yeah,
other left arm spinner, and
Sajid, Sajid
yeah,
Khan.
yeah.
Sajid Khan,
He
and
can't play spin. Yeah, he
yeah. So
can't.
they
I'm not
can't
saying he
play
can't play
spin. It's
spin. Yeah,
yeah,
spin is his
yeah,
weakness. Spin is his weakness. In
yeah.
fact, I was having a word with an English colleague as well, and he was like, Harry Brook is one of the top talents, top batting talents. He could be the next, somebody like a Virat Kohli, all format player. ये वो. मैंने कहा, yes, as long as he's playing on pata surfaces, yes, you can build him up as much as possible, but he's not scored any runs in the IPL. He backed out of the tour of England, tour of India, the Test tour. Pakistan में जो भी runs बनाए हैं वहां पे, they've come in on pata surfaces. The last two Test matches, pitches were broken down, and now you're saying that you couldn't pick the bowling or the wrong ones because of smog. Nitin, smog.
Hmm.
I think that's the weirdest explanation ever given by a batter.
Yeah, and also I think both he and Livingston, I think they had this obsession of playing everything on the front foot, isn't it? I mean, the guy who played them the best was Butler, because he was looking to go back and either pull the ball or flick it, or cut it. So I
Yeah.
think especially I think Varun Chakravarti benefited because of them lunging forward and leaving that gap between bat and pad. So smog or whatever. I mean, you still need some skill and some common sense to play the spinners well. I think they were just after a while. I think they just seemed to be on a suicide mission, and they just kept playing one shot too many, and left the captain high and dry. Really, sadly.
How was Josh Butler able to pick it up? Agar
Exactly. Yeah,
Harry Brook की smog impact कर रही थी. Josh Butler was batting
yeah,
fine. मतलब Josh Butler
yeah.
की eyes, मतलब they should be scientifically you know मतलब उन
Of
थोड़ा
course,
सा
he's played them before. He's played them in the IPL before, so that may be,
make his
that may
eyesight
be,
smog proof, Nitin. That doesn't make his
yeah,
eyesight smog proof, right?
yeah,
Anyway,
true, true, true.
one of the weirdest explanations I've heard, well, at least in my career. Uh, there you go. That's the England batting lineup. I thought India's bowling did really well. Varun Chakravarti के बारे में हम discuss कर चुके हैं. Akshar Patel, he is also Dupai, and he's also finding out this role that this more prominent role that he's been given in India's T20 lineup, not so much in the other two formats, but now he's no more a backup to Ravindra Jadeja. You know what I mean? Even till the last T20 World Cup, when he actually played with Jadeja in the same 11, he was not under his shadow anymore. I think with Chakravarti, Bishnoi, and Akshar Patel, this troika, I think Bishnoi you can still replace with Washington Sundar if needed, if depending there are too many left-handers in the opposition batting lineup. But overall, I think this spin troika is coming up really well.
Yes, yes, it is. And Aksar is a, when it comes to T20 cricket, he's a very dynamic cricketer. Like he's a good bat also. Like in difficult conditions in the T20 World Cup, he was pushed up the order and he did pretty well in some of the games, and that gives him the extra confidence. He's primarily a batsman who could bowl, but the bowling has come up so well that he looks a very good, very competent cricketer, a finger spinner who gets bounce. He has, and he's a bowler who has consistently got better over the years. Like uh, he has been in the shadow of Ravindra Jadeja, as you said, but
Hmm.
yes, now at least in T20 cricket, he has carved a niche for himself. It is very difficult to drop him. You are
Hmm.
absolutely right on that count. Even when Washington Sundar comes in, it will be very difficult to drop Patel because of the things that he brings to the table. And yes, he is making that spot his own, and that's good for Indian cricket.
I think if Washington Sundar comes in, not in this second T20 or whenever he does come in, I mean, if he does come in, then we're looking at the toss up being between Sundar and Bishnoi, not so much between Akshar Patel and Varun Chakravarti because of the batting aspect that Akshar Patel does bring to the table. Again, that is a question mark for later. But again, for me, Dopayan, your thoughts on this lineup in terms of Hardik Pandya, Nitish Reddy. क्योंकि देखो, in the first T20, you can just see they were relying. We did not see Nitish Reddy bowl, but overall, अगर आप team का combination देखो, you could just see that Nitish Reddy was your backup pace option. They went deep with their batting. How do you see playing this out in Chennai tomorrow? Do you feel that India could again get away with this bowling combination, or do you see a case for Harshit Rana, or like we have discussed, maybe even Mohammed Shami?
See, India will win in Chennai. If they win in Chennai, they will win with spin. That is
Yeah,
a very, very simple idea. Now, my point is, if you are playing Nitish Reddy, obviously you are not going to probably play Nitish Reddy and Hardik Pandya together in
mm,
matches that really matter, because then you are going in with a pace bowler shot, which they cannot. But now that
yeah,
you are playing Nitish Reddy, make
yeah,
sure that you give him bat,
mm,
push him up the order, because we don't know what to expect from him, and give him 2 3 overs of bowling so that he gets the necessary meaningful game time, not just game time, because that is what is important. You pick the guy, then you don't give him a chance to bat, then you don't give him a chance to bowl. Suddenly in the third T20 he comes in at the 18th over, gets out for 5, and then you say he's a failure. That thing shouldn't happen. If he is playing, push him up the order, give him some quality game time. These results will take care. These are not sacrosanct, and the results will take care of themselves at the end of the day. If you are playing young players, give them the time. The same problem has been happening with Rinku Singh for years and years now. He is just there as a number 5, number
yeah.
6 who doesn't get to bat.
Mm.
It's sad. It's sad these days.
एंड इवेंचुअली रिंकू सिंह के साथ यही होता है ना कि अभी ये उनको बैटिंग मिल नहीं रही है, मिलेगी भी तो अगेन लाइक यू सेड ही इज जस्ट फेसिंग दोस फ्यू डिलीवरीज And then when the T20 World Cups comes around, you'll say, oh, you know what, Rinku Singh just batting karta hai. And it's just not possible to fit him in the 15, let alone the 11. You know. Okay. From the English camp, what I'm hearing is that they're still going in with a primarily fast bowling. Can we have the English squad, please? They're still going with a primarily pace attack. Bryden Cars could be in for Atkinson, is what I'm
Atkinson.
hearing, and Jamie Smith could come in for Jacob Bethel, which is going to be very very disappointing for Bethel क्योंकि अभी तक एक ही outing हुई है, and he's somebody who can actually bowl a bit of spin as well. So you're taking out one spin option. Is England reading this right? Even in, I mean, obviously, if you don't put more than 130 on the board, so as it is, doesn't matter. But Chandresh, is England reading this right with a pace-heavy attack?
I think Jacob Bethel apparently is unwell and he's not turned up for training as well today. So
Okay.
that's why he's not going to be played in the second T20 international most likely. And I think so they're left with no other option. I think they also have Rehan Ahmed, if I'm not mistaken, in their
Yeah.
squad. But with Adil Rashid already being there, I don't know if they want to have Rehan Ahmed also coming into the lineup. Maybe they are not too confident about him with Adil Rashid already being there in the setup. So they're really left with no option in that sense. And
Mm,
Liam Livingston has not really has to do a lot more than what he's
mm.
doing right now to justify his place in the lineup, I suppose, with no Moeen Ali anymore who can bowl a bit of spin. So they really don't have any options there in terms of spin, I suppose.
Right, and Upendra is also, yeah. Thanks for your comment there, Upendra. Jacob Bethel, जैसे चंद्रेश ने बताया कि uh, he has a bit of an illness issue, so yeah, his services will not be available. Nitin, again, like I said, it won't really matter. It won't really matter if you have only 130 on the board. So a lot better batting performance from England is what's needed. अगर जो हमने pre-series बात की थी कि this is going to be two teams which are going to go hammer and tongs.
Yeah, and also Chetan, there's a bit of a sameness to their attack. They don't have any left armer. Uh, I don't know why Sam Curran has not been picked. I mean, he's playing for MI Cape Town in South Africa. They used to have what David Willey, I think,
Yeah.
who was very very effective for them.
David Willey hasn't been given the central contract, if I
I,
remember.
I know, I know.
He
They used
retired
to have
from
him
international
who,
cricket.
yeah, and who retired after being let go of in the central
Yeah,
contracts.
contracts.
So and he was a very very effective bowler. So I think they are also lacking a decent left arm option in terms of
Hmm.
spin as well as pace. So if you travel with a very similar kind of an attack,
Hmm.
barring the two express pacers in Archer and Wood, and if they don't strike early, then the rest of the bowling becomes cannon fodder for batters for a young Indian team who has grown up playing T20 cricket. So and who don't mind playing their shots.
Hmm.
So they need the bowling needs a little more variety, to
Hmm.
test this lineup. And mind you, I know the Indian batting also.
Hmm.
Uh, a lot of holes have been covered off late by Tilak Verma and Sanju. I mean, your captain has
Yeah.
not been scoring runs for a very long time now.
Yeah.
And and the middle order has kind of been untested for quite a bit. So if a couple of wickets go early, then you might see some fun and games.
Yeah, interesting you said that. I think वो opportunity ही नहीं बना है with the way the top
Hmm.
order has been firing, and the Payan also said that you need to test yourself. You need to probably bat first, not chase as much, like South Africa were doing. South Africa, they batted first. They've been doing wonderfully well there as well. But yeah, it's just worked out very well for the Indian top order so far. Now, the one point you mentioned, Nitin, and I will come to Dopayan with this is you mentioned about the English quicks. Mark Wood was all over the place, but Jofra Archer was amazing in that first T20. He poses that threat with his pace, and he showed with that uncomfortable bounce that he was getting. That could rattle up the top order. That's something to watch out for.
Yes, and I don't think England is going to shift from their strategy, because
Mm,
what I understand is that the, the these teams like England, Australia, they always work with a bigger picture in mind. They are looking at the T20 World Cup, because they will not get to play a lot of T20 cricket in India. So this is their probably the strategy. This is their way to go. Like three pacers who bowl at full throttle, and like then come if they make the semifinals of the T20 World Cup, they know that the pitches will be good for batting, and their batting can take over. So this is a kind of a strategy that these teams work on. They do not shift from these strategies, that we will play this way only. And England has, under McCallum, has been like that. They are slightly compulsive in their approach. Like if we bat that sixth gear batting, we will keep on doing it. We prefer back of the length pace bowlers. Uh, we will keep on doing it, and those two spinners here and there. So
mm.
that is going to be their approach. Yes, Jofra Archer bowling well is a good sign for England. Is a good sign for Rajasthan Royals. Everybody like Jofra Archer coming back, and it's good for cricket also. He's a fine bowler, and it'll be good to see him bowl at full steam at the Indian top order.
Right. I think we'll have more build up for the second T20 tomorrow when the match actually happens. Usse pehle, just before the match happens. For now, let's change gears and let's go back to Ranji Trophy, जहाँ पर आज मुंबई के मुकाबले में तो दूसरी इनिंग्स भी हो गई खत्म. So this is what's happened. Rohit Sharma, 28 of 35, apparently hit some sixes and fours in there. Yashasvi Jaiswal, 26 of 51. Well, it's been a tough pitch. Let's be also be honest. It's been a tough pitch. Shardul Thakur with a 50 and then 100. Shubman Gill, अभी चलो दूसरी पारी आनी बाकी है. Rishabh Pant, 17 of 26. रविंद्र जडेजा, 12 wickets. सौराष्ट्र ने तो दिल्ली को 2 दिन में हरा भी दिया. Okay, again, just going back a bit, did anybody watch Rohit Sharma's knock? Did he look better? Any thoughts? Chandresh, do you want to start with
No.
this?
No, didn't really watch him play, but I saw a bit of Shardul Thakur play.
Yeah.
If Ranji Trophy performances are really
Hmm.
consideration for selection,
Hmm.
he should be one of the first names then that should be chosen for the England Test tour later on, because
Hmm.
he has no cricket between now after this Ranji Trophy, and because he's not been picked in the IPL by any franchise, so
Hmm.
he should be considered. And I remember the coach Gautam Gambhir talking about the fact that they are looking ahead.
Hmm.
Uh, well, he could really add a bit of value to the side. Instead of playing bits and pieces players in the Test 11, you could probably go with a Shardul Thakur. He wouldn't be bad in the Test lineup because
Hmm.
he'll contribute, and like he's pulled Mumbai out of trouble. It'll be very useful to see. But overall, I think it was a good run for the players, the star players, so to say, in this round so far.
Hmm.
Uh, but for Rohit Sharma and Jaiswal, I don't know how much confidence of theirs has been dented once again.
Hmm.
But like you said, it's a tough pitch for the batters there at the BKC ground. But
Hmm.
uh, but the confidence surely should have been dented by this performance for all of them put
Yeah.
together. In a way, it
Yeah.
is good that Virat Kohli is not playing this round, because all the attention would then have been just on him. The next
Hmm.
round, when he plays, all the attention will be on him, so that will be very interesting.
Yeah, the next round, if and when he plays, well, जहाँ भी जाते हैं विराट कोहली, attention उनके साथ ही जाती है. So attention will be there, when he plays for Delhi. It's been a long time. Pankaj कह रहे हैं Shardul should play county now that Chandresh has highlighted that he has no more cricket. IPL में pick नहीं हुए इस बार, which was also very surprising by the way. But yeah, he should play county for before the English tour. That opens up his calendar, Nitin Dopayan. That opens up his calendar a bit, and he can say, okay, look, you want somebody with that kind of experience, you want somebody with that kind of exposure, and to be honest, Shardul Thakur has done really well in England in the past. 21, he was absolute mega for Team India. Yes, uh, the selectors have said that we are looking ahead, but एक series के लिए at least you can go back, especially in conditions where his skills might come in handy. Nitin Dopayan.
Looking ahead, मतलब मुझे समझ में नहीं आता how far are they looking ahead? And
And he's only
uh,
33
you know,
by the way. He's only
yeah, he's only
33.
33, and he yes, what happened? I think post that Joburg 7 wicket haul that he had in 2022, I think his
Mm,
pace kind of dropped, and I think he developed some fitness issues
mm,
because of which his he went off the radar, and I believe successive coaching regimes thought that he's done, but yet he made the World Cup squad, played only a handful of games. Um, but he's a cricketer who
mm,
who always delivers when the team needs it. And instead of having someone who is a 120 kilometers per hour bowler who bats at number 8 and gets 100, I'm talking about Nitish Kumar Reddy here. I would rather play Nitish Kumar Reddy as a batter and pick Shardul Thakur as a pace bowling all rounder for England, because he has what, 240, 250 first class wickets. So and he knows how to bowl multiple spells through the day, bowl third change or second change, and bowl with a semi new ball, semi old ball, whatever, and also take the new ball. So he's somebody who in those conditions, I think that Oval Test that he played against England in 21, he did well. He also batted very well in the World Test Championship final. Um, the Centurion Test match in 2023, I think, was where things went against him, because I thought that on a helpful pitch, the team management thought that he sprayed the ball all over the place and was very expensive. But I think one bad test should not really go
yeah,
against.
I think that when he sprayed that ball everywhere, I think that was like, ho gaya, maybe. And you mentioned
Yeah,
one thing that
yeah.
he dropped his pace and there was some sort of a fitness issue. But again, the point like Chandresh made, ki the reason you want people to play Ranji cricket is because or domestic cricket in general, is because you're considering those performances, right? uh, so it's a valid point. Let's see what happens, although I'm very doubtful that Shardul will make a comeback for the English tour, but again, there's no harm in trying. Hopefully he goes to county cricket. His calendar is free, so he can always go and do that. Okay, but overall, अगर अब 2 दिन में मैच खत्म हो गया है तो Dwapayan, you were talking about not reading too much into Jadeja's figures as well. 12 विकेट ले लिए हैं, लेकिन 2 दिन में मैच खत्म हुआ है. That does mean that the pitch had something in it.
India will play on such pitches, Test cricket on such pitches in India, and Ravindra Jadeja is the king of akhadas that we know. Like he's unplayable on those pitches, and
Yeah.
he remains unplayable. So uh, there's not
Mm.
nothing more or less to expect from those pitches. Like when we are playing in India, one thing I'd like to say, like
Go ahead.
there was this talk of whether it is time that we look ahead of Jadeja and all that after the Australia series. How I
Mm.
see it is that on Indian tracks, now that Ashwin is off, Jadeja has to be there. Jadeja, how lethal he can be, he showed in this match, because we are going to keep on playing on Test cricket on such pitches even after the New Zealand reversal, because those WTC points, obsession for
Uh,
WTC points will be there, and Jadeja will be our key man going forward also.
Well, you know what? With Jadeja, I'll be very interested to see कि मतलब बिना Ashwin के, when now he's leading the spin attack, how he performs, and because this pairing has been very lethal for India. एक end से Ashwin, दूसरे end से Jadeja. I remember I had once asked him कि how is this pairing working for you? He's like, the batters don't have any room for to breathe. एक एंड से अश्विन अटैक कर रहे हैं, दूसरे एंड से मैं अटैक कर रहा हूँ, उनके पास सांस लेने का टाइम नहीं है. So that was
Hmm.
one of their ploys as a pair, as an attacking spin pair, on these home conditions. So it will be very interesting how he copes, how Jadeja copes in the post Ashwin era
Hmm.
on home surfaces.
Uh,
Divankar जो कह रहे हैं, yeah, go ahead.
The thing about Jadeja is Jadeja once also said in the press conference, like Jadeja's ability is that at a pace he keeps on hitting the same spot,
Same
and
spot,
then he
yeah,
said कि बॉल किस तरफ घूम रहा है वो मुझे भी कभी कभी पता नहीं है
yeah, yeah.
and when that happens on tracks, and because of
Mm,
his accuracy, that Anil Kumble like accuracy, he is just
mm,
unplayable on these pitches.
yeah.
That's what I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This comment from Devanka Jyoti: if you're looking for Shardul Thakur who can do the similar role, then it's Atit Sheth, who is a bowling all rounder. He's doing well for a few years for Baroda. And yes, He is doing well. I saw him in the Vijay Hazare Trophy. What a player! What a player! He's actually quite good with his bowling and his batting. The temperament is there. Now, as Chandresh would know, it's a big domestic wilderness. Chandresh, कई सारे खिलाड़ी होते हैं जिनका टेम्परामेंट अच्छा होता है, जिनका टैलेंट अच्छा होता है, जो अपनी टीम्स के लिए लगातार जॉब करते हैं, दे जस्ट सेल अंडर द रेडार फॉर द सेलेक्टर्स, क्योंकि वो शायद पीआर नहीं होता है या वो स्पार्क नहीं आता है. I was very impressed with Atit Sheth, but this usually happens in the wilderness that is Indian cricket, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and I think that there's a fit
Mm.
case for someone like him to be going with the India A squad if they are
Yes,
playing those
yes,
3-4 day games before the Test series in England. You may not pick him
mm,
for the Test squad. That's a different
yeah,
matter, but at least give him an opportunity to fail. That's the same thing
mm,
that I keep talking about Abhimanyu Ishwaran as well, because you may not want to
mm,
play him in, but at least give him an opportunity to fail. Let him get an
yeah,
opportunity to fail. So we don't know what's the status with Atit Sheth. He did, I think, get picked for a few representative sides, but
yeah,
he's not really been picked for an India A setup. So there's an
yeah, yeah,
opportunity there. Also, I think this T20 series, there's an opportunity for Anshul Kamboj, Vaibhav Arora, Rasik Salamdar, if you really want to test your bench strength. This was an ideal
mm,
opportunity in the T20 setup as well. Uh,
mm,
and coming back to Shardul Thakur, with Tushar Deshpande still not being fully fit and not being ready as yet, there could well be an opportunity there in the Rajasthan Royal setup, because you've got Rahul Dravid there, who's aware
mm.
of Shardul Thakur's ability. You might still see him playing in the IPL, so that's why
The
I don't know
IPL.
about him playing the county setup. So yeah, so lots of opportunities available, but it's about the selectors picking the right players for the right time.
Okay, Nitin, do you want to take this question? Should Kuldeep be our lead spinner in tests going forward? 2018 has been a long time back. जब रवि भाई ने कहा था कि he is going to be your number one overseas spinner, हुआ नहीं वैसा कुछ, because obviously things change quickly in Indian cricket. But now could be an opportunity. You have a spot available. आप तीन spinner जब खिलाना चाहोगे घर पे, you could have Kuldeep coming in. Even when he did play, sometimes he was under bowled because you had Ashwin and Jadeja doing the job. Akshay Patel was
Yeah.
available as well. How do you see? I mean, थोड़ा सा off track हो जाएगा, but question आया है तो लेते हैं.
When
It's a good
when
question.
was the last time he played overseas? Uh,
Kuldeep,
apart from Chittagong, when was the last time he played overseas? I
uh,
think 2019. I think.
In
I'll
Sydney,
just
he
check.
played that
Yeah,
test, I
Sydney
remember. Yeah.
2019. I don't think he
He
played
got
after
five
that.
wickets.
Yeah,
Ashwin was injured.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I
I'm just
mean,
checking. He
I
went to West Indies. I'm just checking. Ab bolo, you continue.
Yeah, I mean, I've been very disappointed with how he's been handled by captains apart from Rohit Sharma. Even Virat, I think, handled him very sporadically. Even KL Rahul in Chittagong, after putting in a man of the match performance, he was dropped for the next game, and Jaydev
Mm-hmm.
Unadkat was played in Mirpur. I mean, I just don't get it. The kind of the kind. I mean, wrist spinners, and such wrist spinners who are so rare need to be handled with a lot of care. And I don't think Kuldeep Yadav has got that from many captains. I think Rohit is the one guy I think who has handled him well. Although he
Mm-hmm.
also dropped him in. After I think he won the man of the match in Dharamshala, and I think the next game he did not play.
Yeah,
So,
but धर्मशाला के
so
बाद जो था वो काफी गैप आ गया था ना.
yeah. So
Mm.
I don't know, and I just hope that he puts in a string of games together if his fitness allows him to. I don't
Mm.
know whether he's played more than 3 games together at a stretch.
Yeah. He's never played.
I,
He's never. That's the big point, right? He's never really had an entire series where he's been
yeah,
told, "Okay, look, boss, this spot is yours, and you will be getting a majority of overs to bowl." अगर वो
yeah,
समझ लो 3 टेस्ट सीरीज में से कभी वो 2 टेस्ट भी खेल लिया है. um, एक वेस्ट इंडीज की सीरीज थी where he was in his debut series, if I'm not mistaken, or something, where he played both test matches and he picked up wickets. लेकिन उसके
yeah,
अलावा we have not really seen Kuldeep Yadav get an entire series and say, boss, आप पूरी सीरीज खेलो, and with Ashwin and Jadeja not available, then he gets
yeah,
to bowl as well. I remember जो pandemic में सीरीज हुई थी where Jadeja wasn't there. even then you had Ashwin and Akshar Patel, and it wasn't Kuldeep
Yeah.
Yadav who had that particular role. So yeah, let's see what happens in that particular case. Um, why not consider Sai Kishore? He was, highest wicket taker last Ranji. I think they will get there. I think they will get there. Sai Kishore has been part of the India A setup for a while. They are considering him very, very seriously. Like in Abhi Sir, Washington Sundar, and then obviously you have these bunch of spinners at the moment. तनुष कोटिया को भी आप लेकर गए थे ऑस्ट्रेलिया आई थिंक वहां पे obviously the permutations were a little bit different. You needed a backup with Ashwin leaving mid tour. So I think he is in the mix, Sai Kishore. Chandresh, your thoughts?
Yeah, Sai Kishore is a good option to have with in all three formats, I suppose, because he's a bit like the other two left-arm spinners that we have in our mix. But Nitin said, I'm surprised in the way they've handled someone like Kuldeep Yadav in the Test series against New Zealand. He didn't even come close to being picked in the playing 11. They brought Washington Sundar out of Ranji Trophy, but didn't pick Kuldeep
Kuldeep was
Yadav.
unfit.
No,
Kuldeep was
Kuldeep
very
was
Later,
unfit.
they later announced that he's unfit, but he was first picked in the squad. Uh, but I think that now they need to start
He
scanning
didn't play
the
the
Ranji
Bangalore
Trophy.
test, did he? खेला था
No,
ना
he
Bangalore?
didn't. No,
नहीं
No.
खेला.
नहीं नहीं नहीं.
He
So
played
they
in
need
Fine.
Pune.
Yeah.
to,
And he was later announced that he was injured. Yeah, go on, Chandresh. Yeah.
So I think that they need to start scanning the domestic circuit to find those spinners, especially the of the leg break variety. They've gone to Tanush Kotian, and Rohit Sharma gave a very simplistic explanation that he was the only one with an Australian visa, so they had to pick him. So I think that they really need to now scan long and hard, because Ravichandran Ashwin's retirement has come as a surprise, as a sledgehammer, I suppose, for the Test match format. So now they will need to really look at all the options that they have when it comes to the red ball format.
Well, India is not playing too many test matches. I mean, this year I think they're playing in England. वैसे भी वहाँ पे अश्विन को आप खिलाते नहीं हो. At home, you're playing two test matches against West Indies. Are there any other? South Africa is coming in November, December. So yeah, those 5 home tests that might just give a new shape to the spin
Four
bowling attack.
actually, four actually, just four.
Yeah, four tests. Yeah, two against West Indies, two against South Africa. My bad. So yeah, 4 tests against at home. That might give a different direction to our spin attack. Well, gentlemen, we'll wrap up our show here. We've discussed the second T20 key permutations and combinations. Will Shami play potentially or not? We've discussed a bit about the Ranji Trophy roundup as well. It's been a wasteful exercise for our stars who have appeared in Ranji Trophy. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel and like and share our video if you liked our episode. We'll be back tomorrow, just before the second T20 for a short preview. Till then, Nitin Nayak, Dwapan Datta, Chandresh Narayan, and all our viewers, thank you so much for joining us. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.